Hello, Oracles. Well, today did not go as planned. I honestly thought that this week we were going to go green. We still do have 2 days left of the week, but several of you had mentioned the fact that going into CPI data next week, we might kind of trade flat going into it. So was the rally last week just 4 days? Maybe. We'll see how it goes next week. So we kind of trickled off a little bit. Again, if institutions put money in last week, there's going to be less institutional money coming in until CPI data comes out, because they're going to want to wait to see what the information is before they put more money in. So right now it's going to be mostly retail trading and a bunch of options, which means that it's going to fluctuate a little bit more or be flat as we are. And volume was a little bit lower than average, around 25 million shares trading hands, and RSI is down to 44. So we're pulling back a little bit, nothing major really to talk about when it comes to the numbers and the technical analysis, but looking at, we do have that gap down to 707. Do we fill it or not? I don't know. I thought we might rally a little bit higher and fill that gap at 865 going into the CPI data. Not sure if that's going to happen now. Again, I don't know what the future brings, so we'll see how it plays out over the next 2 weeks. But again, next Friday on the 10th, we've got CPI, and then the week after on the 15th, we are going to get the FOMC meeting. So a couple of major points going on, and Abhishek, thank you for bringing up in Canada today, they raised rates 50 basis points. A lot of people thought they were going to be raising at 75 basis points, but their Fed ended up going a little bit more dovish. So what we have seen in the past a lot of times is in the US, we follow suit with Canada. So if they thought they were going to be doing a 75 basis point hike, there was a potential that we might do that here in the US. But seeing as Canada's gone with 50, perhaps we're also going to get 50 here when we get to the 15th. We'll see when this plays out. The market right now is expecting 50, and Fed Bullard had mentioned how, basically the Fed needs to raise rates based upon what the market thinks the Fed is going to raise rates. And as of this point right now, that's 50 basis points. So chances are we're going to see that coming in June. Now, are we going to get a bump after the FOMC meeting in June like we got in March? I don't know. Hopefully, that would be nice. When it comes to Tesla, we're looking at the fact that we're most likely going to have the proxy coming out prior to the FOMC meeting, so we'll have a lot more insight and information as far as the annual meeting and the potential split go. So if we get good news in CPI and we get that FOMC meeting and the Fed raises rates the 50 basis points that we think, we could have a very nice rally going into the summer, potentially leading up to Q2. Q2 is going to be another question. We'll talk about that later because there's so much uncertainty up in the air leading into that. But this could be very good for us in the near term if we can get these patterns to align. And now, just to be clear, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not know what is going to happen. I just like to present the information that I know to you guys. I am very bullish on Tesla. So if I come off bearish, I apologize. I am extremely bullish on Tesla. I just have to be realistic because in the near term, we're looking at a lot of macro headwinds. A lot of companies are going to be struggling with Q2 numbers because of supply chain issues, COVID lockdowns in China, the war in Russia and Ukraine. Just the reality of the situation right now is the why we're in a bear market at the moment. Again, fortunes are born during bear markets. So if you're prepared for this, you're going to be able to reap the benefits of it when we come out of it. So again, not that I'm excited and happy that we're in a bear market. I would love to see the stock over $1,200 right now. But this to me is a great opportunity to add because historically when you look back, every single time we have been in these situations, the people who are complaining about it and they just want the market to go green are the ones who don't end up making any money in the long run because they either sold out or they just complained. Meanwhile, the people who are hunkering down and taking advantage of these prices, they are the ones who built their fortunes coming out of it. Just saying, historically, that is what has happened. Not to say that's a guarantee this time, but if history is going to repeat itself over and over again, I know what I'm going to do to be a part of that. And when it comes to us hunkering down as investors during these times, what companies do we want to invest in? Well, I want to invest in the companies that are also hunkering down during these times. And Tesla is one of them. And if any of you have seen the emails that Elon has sent out to the staff over at Tesla, you know that they mean business. Elon has told everybody there is no more working from home, there is no more remote working. If you are going to work remotely, you must put in a minimum of 40 hours in the office, and that is a minimum that you need to. And the higher you up are in the chain, the more visible you need to be to the employees of the company to show that you are there. As Elon said, there's a reason he slept on the floor of the factory in Fremont during the 2018 ramp of the Model 3. It's because he needed to show them that he is there with them and leading them. He's not in charge of them, he is leading them as one of them. And he wants his management and office staff to do the same. So when you're looking at a company that is trying to grow as exponentially fast as they are, they need everybody to work fast enough to be able to keep up with that exponential growth. I have a good friend who works over at Apple, and he's higher up on the chain there, and he said Apple moves at an extremely fast pace, but Tesla is at least 3 times faster, which is insane. And that there shows why Tesla is in the lead and why no one can catch them. And even Herbert Diess had mentioned how Tesla moves at least twice as fast as everyone else in the industry, which is going to make it a huge challenge for anybody else to catch them. Now, he did say that Tesla does have some headwinds to face, which of course they do. You know, going into an exponential ramp like they are, it's going to be extremely challenging to be able to keep that pace going. Certainly. You know, I know just working in a high-paced business myself, you can burn out. You certainly can. I mean, look at Andre Karpathy. You know, he decided to take himself a sabbatical because he knows that they're about to get into some seriously hard times. So I have no doubt that he took this time to kind of regroup because he knows that he's going to have to hunker down going forward for at least the next 3 to 5 years as they really drive the company forward. And Elon's not joking around when it came to these emails, because he literally said that if you don't show up to the office, we are going to assume that you have resigned. And literally said, if you want to go work from home from somewhere else, then go work for someone else. Because they're not joking around. Elon has goals that they need to meet. He knows what their plan is. He is dead set on their mission, and he knows he can't do it alone. So he needs a team that is going to be as dedicated to the mission as he is. That's it. And when you get a team that is like that and you can drive it forward, going into a product, as he says, is going to change the world in the future, you know, a lot of people are going to want to be a part of that. And if they don't, then they'll go to the wayside and they'll find someone else to work for. Simple as that. He made it as clear as he possibly could, and that's it. And so that's why investing in Tesla for me is so huge and the number one option, because they've got the customer base that's coming in, they've got the products, they've got the drive, they've got the staff. Everybody wants to go work for them, even though they have these very strict, high-paced work ethics going on over there. It's just the Tesla culture. And to have a culture like that behind this business with the product and the mission that they're going for, to me, just there's nothing better that I could possibly put my money in. And Mark in the comments had recommended I take a look at Warren Redlick's video about Tesla going to $200,000 per share. So thinking about the pace that Tesla is moving at, and then getting themselves to a point where Optimus, potentially in the future, all by itself, could bring the stock price to $200,000, that's insane. And so obviously, you know, Warren makes a great argument about it over there, leasing out Optimus with the numbers that are going. But he says, you know, even on, you know, a lower end scenario, you could still see a $50,000 stock price for the company in the future. And so when I see numbers like that, yes, I think they're extremely uber bullish. But when you take a step back and think about how this all could possibly play out, it's definitely a potential. And when you've got a guy like Elon who is driving the entire company forward like this, I want to be a part of this. I will take that because they have already proven along the way that they can get there. And for me, if I'm going to be investing my money, and to me it's not a gamble, if I'm going to be investing my money into a company, I'm going to want a company who has this much upside potential and this much drive behind it to get there. Now, I do keep myself a little bit more diversified. I've got some other stocks here and there, but even right now, Tesla is 61% of my portfolio, and most of my diversification is going to end up coming from real estate outside of the market. So I'll keep my diversification, but I mean, realistically, there's not a lot of other companies out there that I see with this much upside potential. Let me know in the comments below, how would you feel working for Tesla? I know I've contemplated it. I don't live anywhere near any one of their factories, but I've thought about it. I'm like, it's a company that I really love. I love investing into it. Heck, as an employee, I'd be able to get into this employee stock purchase plan. So a possibility, but I also like my freedom, and I don't know if that kind of work ethic at this point in my life is something that I want to get into. Although between YouTube, real estate, the stock market, and my job, I'm basically working 4 a.m. to 8 or 9 p.m. at night. So I guess I do have the work ethic, but do I want to do it all for Tesla? But you never know, when you've got a mission that you love driving towards, you really don't care and you don't even consider it work because you love what you're doing. So let me know in the comments below if you would consider working for Tesla in the fast-paced environment that they're in, or you let other people do that and you instead decide to be the investor in that company. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord channel as well. That link is in the description below as well. Otherwise, we will see you all later. Have a great one.